Welcome to the Pathways to Surrender podcast. I'm Michael Warmoth, and thank you for joining us for this guided meditation. Please note that these meditations are recorded in a tropical setting with the windows and doors open, so you will hear birds and other sounds. Try not to let them distract you from the words. Let's take a moment now to just get settled in, get comfortable and relaxed. Maybe close our eyes and take some breaths and just listen to the music before the meditation starts. For many of us, encountering resistance in our practice is leading us to believe there is something wrong, that somehow we aren't doing it right, or that we aren't good enough, or some other story about why we can't surrender, why it is hard for us to let go. But actually, there is a solution to our resistance, which is to cultivate compassion and understanding for that within us, which has experienced situations and circumstances that have led to such a terrible fear of our authentic selves. If we were to see the same thing in someone else, we would, generally speaking, develop compassion for them when we saw how their suffering had been created, but our compassion must be genuine, which means that if it is difficult to generate compassion, then we must explore our resistance to it. We are seeking authentic expression of our true nature. What is true is often expressed as emotions, feelings. But so many feelings have been denied and repressed that we struggle to identify what is happening. We feel resistance, we feel difficulty in letting go. But we aren't conscious of the feelings behind that resistance. We must become willing to open to the experience of our emotional self. Must be willing to explore it, our feelings. That means letting go of control, surrendering our will, which has been used for the most part to create the separation in our consciousness from our authentic selves and our conscious awareness. We have to accept that there are some things that we have been afraid to feel. And be willing to let them surface. What is not known to us generally is that what we have been so afraid of is actually nothing like we were afraid it would be. Because we have been in control for so long, I have developed a hard and fast rule. We have lived to keep our authentic selves at bay. There is actually nothing to fear within us. I have lived in fear of memories, feelings, what makes them fearful is having to control them. We will see that once we stop controlling them, there really was nothing to fear. There is nothing within us that can harm us. And in fact, all the healing we need, all the fulfillment, all the joy, the love, the peace we could ever want is available and is what we have been denying. So, when we encounter resistance, what is our response to that resistance? What do we do with our energy when we're struggling to let go and surrender? Our habitual response is probably to judge ourselves in some way. So, if we are willing to explore whether we can have compassion for ourselves, we are willing to see the source of that resistance, to let go and accept there is nothing to fear, really. And we can begin to enter the present, to deepen our surrender, our allowing and accepting, begin to open our hearts to the reality of who we are. Because what we will always find eventually is the innocent and pure self that is a perfect expression of a perfect creative source that is a divine light, one with the one consciousness. Very few of us hold any true conviction that we are innocent, pure. It is our resistance to this idea that led to our separation from our authentic self. And yet, it is the one thing that is absolutely true. We must see ourselves from that perspective. underneath the conditioning and the history and the stories, there is a pure, infinite being, incapable of judgment, incapable of hate. That is the reality of ourselves. If we hold that view to be true, then the only appropriate response to our resistance is compassion. We have many habitual responses to ourselves. That is the purpose of our journey, to become conscious and question those habitual responses. They are not necessary. They're not helpful. And there is that within us which is more than willing to guide the way, to be the light. Starts with grace, making ourselves available to the presence, power of that spirit within us, saying yes. And then we will see that in fact, not even compassion is required anymore, for there is only the truth. The resistance is just a creation of a troubled mind, and it all dissolves into the light and love that is the true self. Thank you for listening to this episode of our podcast. If you would like more information on these meditations and teachings, you can visit pathwaystosurrender.com. You might be interested in our other podcast, Pathways to Wholeness. These are episodes of meditative teachings designed to help us move to the next step in our journey, letting go and learning to surrender, overcoming resistance. That's Pathways to Wholeness. Look for the next episode soon. We'll be uploading them every couple of days. See you next time.